I'm Spence Redford, and my presentation focuses on organizational diversity. The topic outline for this presentation is as follows. I'll first explore three models for diversity, and then provide a perspective on why there is demand and even an expectation for diversity, and then look at the special topic of boardroom diversity. Now, cultural diversity models seek to explain the effectiveness of organizational diversity. According to the first model, the integration and learning perspective on diversity, the insights, skills, and experiences employees have developed as members of various cultural identity groups they're potentially valuable resources that the group can then use as tools to redefine its markets, its products, and strategies, as well as business practices. Now, Model 2 is the access and legitimacy perspective, which is based on recognition that an organization's markets and constituencies are culturally diverse, and so the workforce of the organization should match that to gain legitimacy from markets and constituent groups. And then Model 3 is discrimination and fairness perspective, which is characterized by the belief in a culturally diverse workforce more as a moral imperative to ensure social justice and the fair treatment of all members of society. So all three of these perspectives, they have been successful in motivating managers to diversify their staffs. But really, only the integration and learning perspective provides the rationale and guidance needed to achieve sustained benefits from diversity. Okay, so now how does diversity in culture affect the function of the group? As you can see in this chart, in order for diversity to positively affect the group, work group diversity perspectives change the outcome. Those include quality of intergroup relations, a degree of feeling valued and respected, and a meaning and significance of cultural identity at work. Okay, so now let's look at why there's demand and even an expectation for diversity. And let's apply these models a little bit more. So Dr. David J. Siegel from East Carolina University, he recently conducted a survey of why there is a demand and expectation for diversity in organizations and schools, as you can see from these photos. The overwhelming response was that responsiveness to diversity carried a reward of legitimacy conferred by external stakeholders. At a business school that was surveyed, there was a unanimous agreement among informants that the realities of a global economy and the changing composition of the labor force had in recent years created a sensitivity to the issues of multiculturalism and diversity that permeated the business landscape. And then some of the other responses from the survey was that there's this need for social equity, social justice, and the belief that diversity is just the right thing to do. So now let's look at the third topic, which is boardroom diversity. And I want to distinguish the diversity of boards from diversity within the board. So as you can see, we're not necessarily talking about board size or independence. We're more looking at the diversity in the board, whether it be gender, age, or ethnicity. A survey conducted by the Journal of Business Ethics found that there is a significant relationship between boardroom diversity and social performance. Boardroom diversity is desirable for at least two reasons. First, outside dynamics, which is the influence of institutional investors, as mentioned in the previous models. It has been argued that employee diversity improves the ability of a firm to relate to a broader customer base and helps compete more effectively in the highly diverse global marketplace. Boards they're usually viewed as a homogeneous group of elites who have similar views about appropriate business practices. But in the last decade, endorsing such an assumption and to portray it as a positive effect has consequences. And corporate governance advice and emerging norms often advocate for greater demographic diversity inside corporate boards. The representation of women and minority groups on boards has gradually slowed, or if slowly increased, but company directors in North America, at least, still remain largely Caucasian, male, and of an older age. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but the world is changing fast around us. Here are my sources from the journals and the surveys that I talked about in my presentation. Hope you enjoyed my little presentation.